All right. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Who's here is looking to start a startup? Amazing, amazing. Who's here is looking for a co-founder? Amazing. All right, so my name is Montasar Shabbeh. You can just call me Montas, pretty complicated. And today I'm going to be sharing with you how to find a co-founder. A little bit of a background about myself. I'm the founder of OnlyFounders, the pretty app that you can see right here. It's basically an app that helps people find co-founders. And to make it really short and really quick, it's basically a mix between a Tinder for founders and an online incubator. So it's like a matchmaking app for finding co-founders. And in the past 2 years of working on OnlyFounders, we've been to more than 200 networking events, connected with a lot of founders, and learned a lot about how to find co-founders and how to build relationships and connect with them. And to be honest, today, I'm not only going to share with you how to find the right co-founder, but also crucial things about how to be the right co-founder and how to keep it. But most importantly, the way that we're going to go through with this presentation is that we're not going to just tell you, just like as any guru would come and tell you, hey, you should do this or do this or do that. We're focusing on using the scientific experimentation method by elimination, which means that we're going to focus by telling you more what not to do instead of what to do, and focus on showing you things that have been proven to be wrong and have been proven to be mistakes, because eventually it's easier to show you that way instead of showing you what to do specifically. I can tell you all that you cannot walk or breathe underwater, but I won't be telling you you can walk on the stage and you can walk on grass or you can walk everywhere. So I feel like it's a better way of explaining these things. All right. First thing first, let's take a look at this small graph. And one thing that we can see in here is that why VCs say no. One of the second reasons is like the weak foundation of the team and team misalignment. And it's pretty important to notice that within unicorns, we see that 65% of high potential startups fail due to conflict between co-founders. And the one common thing that we see between founders is that usually in the early stage, they rush to this decision. They focus on the business model, they focus on the idea, they focus on how they're going to make money, and on a lot of different points, but they usually rush to the decision of finding the right co-founder. And it's for many reasons. Maybe it's because it's difficult, it takes time. Maybe because they're so excited to make that business and make money. Some people are really excited, have like some financial issues, and they need their business to make money. They want to pitch it to investors. Maybe they're desperate for it. But also, maybe because they think that their idea is like gold, and sharing it would mean that another founder would take it and then they would leave. And that's one thing that I want to really touch on. I feel like everyone already heard this before. Your idea is basically almost worth nothing, but its execution is worth everything. Everyone has heard this before, so I'm not bringing you anything new at this stage. But the one key thing that I want to talk about here is that with investors specifically, and later on, they would focus mostly on the team and who is going to bring that idea to life. We've seen every weird idea to really amazing idea work in this world. Imagine just explaining to your grandparents or ancestors how Facebook works and how you buy tokens and all of that. So the ideas in itself are not really the issue. The issue is mostly within the execution. And the investors, specifically in the early stage, want to invest in a team that would be able to grow and launch your platform or your business without the need of external help until a certain threshold. So with that being said, if you're building a tech startup, you need the tech within you. If you're building something magical, why you are better than anyone else competing? Because if you just give them the idea, they could hire some people better than you, and they'll do it all by themselves. And from that standpoint, a lot of people that, let's say, are rushing it would have the thought that, hey, maybe I should start as a solo founder. Although there's a lot of people that start as a solo founder and get funding, within, let's say, VCs and traditional investment, it's really rare. It's mostly prominent within e-commerces. But I highly discourage on doing this method, and for specific reasons, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide. For specific reasons, it also connects with when to look for a co-founder. When you start the idea by yourself, you have an issue of the entitlement and the equity. Let's say one of you here who wants to start a business. What is your business idea? Oh, you don't have.
No, it's fine. So it's like an ethnic food finder app that streamlines the process of finding a restaurant as far as putting information together like parking, transport links, things like that, and spotlighting lesser known restaurants.
Okay, amazing. Who is here is really interested about this idea, for example? Okay, let's take you or him, for example, and let's say you built your business model. You already have a clear idea of what is your business model, where you're gonna see yourself with this idea, how you're gonna launch it, how you're gonna work on it, and after a while, she comes in. She comes in and joins. Eventually, there's gonna be two issues. On one side, you're gonna feel like you already did the idea by yourself. You already thought about all of the ways that you're gonna solve this issue. It's problem solving. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers. How are you gonna solve this issue, the way that you're gonna fix this issue, and the way that you're gonna resolve the problem, do the pitch deck, do a website, do all of these things. And then she's gonna come in. Although she might be amazing, you'll still feel like you owe more equity than her. And that's not wrong, because you started before her, even though the beginning is basically almost worth nothing. But the idea, the thought inside you is the same thing. On the other hand, on her side, even after 5 years, 10 years, she would have an issue with the entitlement of the issue. Because even though she came in, she helped, she did a lot of, she's amazing, she may be better than you, she may be the one developing the whole thing. So she did 90% of the job. She'll feel like it's your project, it's your vision, it's your passion. So when we think about when to look for a co-founder, it's really important to look for it before you finalize your idea. This is really crucial because we're focusing here on this session to minimize the issues that would come later and minimize the mistakes that founders do in the early stage. And the reason why everyone does a lot of mistakes is because we are lacking guidance, because we did not know all of these things, or we're rushing it, or really excited about the business. But this could have a really big issue later on. So talking a little bit about the entitlement, try to find a co-founder, work on that, all of these things in the beginning. Ideally, you could go to pitch competitions, networking events, connect together, but before finalizing the idea, before doing the Instagram, before doing a website, before doing everything, try to focus on both of you solving the problem together to see if you're entitled to it. Okay. Now I want to ask you a simple question. Everyone here is gonna participate. Which one is more important for you out of these four, and in what order? Anyone wants to participate?
I go with values and morals first.
Okay, why?
Because to me, the skills are, to me that's more obvious that that's a requirement. And I already know plenty of people that have skills that would absolutely benefit me, benefit my idea, I'd benefit from working with them. But contrary to what you said earlier, I am passionate about my vision, and to me it is crucial that I work with someone who I do not have to bend them to my vision, I don't have to bend towards their vision. We are in it together with the same values and morals. We're a great team.
Okay, really great point. Anyone else wants to join? Okay.
I completely agree with you. I think values and morals is top because I think all the other things you can kind of be taught or learn along the way, whereas values and morals, that's really like within you and you can't, yeah.
Exactly. Anyone else has a different point of view? Anyone would prioritize something different? All right. Okay.
Maybe the experience because it will accelerate the whole process. Like co-founding with someone who already had an experience in the startup industry would already accelerate the process because he already knows what it's about.
Okay. Really great perspective. This is a personal choice, but I believe that values are the most important thing. I mean, all of these things are the most important, and the way the question is formed is which one is more important in order. It's not about which one you should have and which one you should not have. And what she said was really interesting about the idea, the values stay, but everything else could be taught and learned. And the one thing that I want you all to learn when you are going to look for a co-founder is that you're going to put a hat of someone who is looking for red flags. You're going to be a hunter for red flags. Because at the early stage, you're looking for these small issues, these fundamental issues that could be deal breakers within you. And within all of the other points, you can always fix them. But with the values and morals, it's something that stays for long. And let me give you this example. I personally love working with really religious people. I don't care which religion it is. I love working with religious people because they're bound to what they're doing, and they're scared of God. They're not scared of me. So they won't they won't steal my money. They won't do something like that. They won't disrespect me. And talking a little bit more about, let's say, disrespect or something like that, as a co-founder, you're here focusing on test. In the beginning, you want to test your co-founder. You want to test it as much as possible before starting that business, before moving on. I know you're really excited about your business. It's not about someone that is not having the same business as you. It's just like someone that is excited with you, but you have to test if you're going on the right way or if you're going to the other way, because that person is going to be that person or these people are going to be the one that are in your circle. And you always say, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. The person next to you could be the person that makes you depressed or the person that would motivate you a lot and pushes you forward. Because when we didn't talk about it when we said about solo founder, but every business, no matter how big or small it is, no matter how much AI you use or how much it's really simple, let's say, as opening a shop in whatever place, you'll go through a lot of difficulties and you'll go through days where you want to completely give up. And if you don't have that co-founder or that teammate or that whole team culture that pushes you and basically pressuring you, telling you, hey, I put my money as well, you cannot just like give up like that, you would have more chances of just like giving up. The way of you testing your co-founder, I highly recommend going to hackathons. Team bonding activities are really great. You can learn about your co-founder, but hackathons specifically, if some people don't know what are hackathons, they're mostly focused on tech people, but they basically put you in 1 to 2 days event where you have an issue in the beginning and you have to solve that problem, and you work from the morning till the evening, till basically the night on fixing that issue with people that you never knew. So within hackathons, you go through issues, you go through problems, and you see how your potential co-founder or teammate is reacting to stress, how they're solving problems. How are things going when there's an issue? Because ideally, a co-founder is like a marriage or like a relationship. And you have to treat it that way. If you want your business to grow well, if you see yourself working on it on the next 10 years, ask yourself the question, am I able to look at this face every morning for the next 10 years? Are you able to do it? That same person. It's not a light decision. You have to focus really on working on that. And within dating or finding a co-founder, the first dates, everyone is perfect. Everyone shows you the best face. Everyone has everything figured out, no problems, no issues. Everyone is respectful. But when you go through these muds, you see if the person is actually good at solving problems under stress, if the person would lose it and start insulting you, if the person forgets everything and turns off his phone and like ghosts everything and forgets about the business, or if they're gonna go do a pub. You'll see that. So that's why I'm saying keep focusing on putting the hat of looking for red flags. And talking about red flags, one of the worst things, yet really common in the beginning, is to build a really big trust. Because again, you want to see yourself having an issue in a day, at some point with your idea, with your business, and rely on your co-founder or your team. Because if you won't be able to rely on them, that's a big fundamental issue. You're by yourself, you're a solo founder, but you gave your equity. Good job. And one of the things that we see a lot within early stage startups and that breaks most of the trust is unreliability. And when you talk about unreliability, it could be really simple as someone that is a little bit unorganized or that promise you to do things, but they don't do these things. And it's not about having high expectations. It's just about doing what you promise to do. You promise to do something on a deadline, you don't do it. Now you're an entrepreneur. You talk, but you don't do it. You promise you to come at this time, they come 5 minutes late. One time, okay. 10 times, it becomes a problem. They promise you to come to this event, they don't do it. And then you build kind of a pattern of breaking the trust, and that becomes really fundamentally problematic for the team. This is not only for the people that you're looking for, but also for yourself. It's really easy to just like do with the imposter syndrome, completely ignore the problem, and when everything goes wrong, just like close it, go to a pub, do something. Everyone has his own way of ignoring the problems. And the easiest way to fix this, in our opinion, is to focus on building as much ecosystems as possible in the beginning. No one gets it right. And when you start a business, when you start a company, when you start a startup, you have thousands of tasks. You have thousands of things to do. But you don't know how to organize your thoughts. You have to do the pitch deck, you have to do the business model, you have to find the right co-founder, you have to do this, and that. And the easiest way of channeling your thoughts and organizing and structuring yourself is to start putting it in any way, shape, or form formally. So doing Google Drive, doing Calendly to have meetings. Yeah, when we talked about unreliability, one of the biggest issues is that I think we've all had this issue where you're 5 minutes from a meeting, either online or in real life, and the person before 5 minutes calls you and tells you, hey, I cannot attend, can we reschedule? It's fine to reschedule 12 hours before, like a day before, but 5 minutes before, damn, that's problematic. So doing shared calendars. Trello, I don't know if you know it, but it's basically putting the tasks on someone, doing Notion pages. Any way, shape, or form, it doesn't matter what it is, it's just starting to put some structure, putting your objectives and your vision and your to-do list somewhere written so that when you're confused or when you're overloaded with a lot of tasks and information, you can just know, open even that notes page and know, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. So building ecosystems is a lifesaver and a business saver, specifically in the beginning, for you, for your credibility, because you want to be trusted. To be a great co-founder, you want to be trusted, and for the team with you. And that also creates kind of a company culture a little bit. And the one key things to focus on here as well, and I think if you get this right, you can basically leave, you have it all, is to always focus on 1% improvement every time. No one is born perfect, no one is born coding, no one is born building businesses. Although we may say that people are born entrepreneurs, but no one is born with that specific skill. And you always have to learn and grow and grow. And even with everything that I'm gonna tell you today, it varies a lot depending on who you're working with, what you're working on. So you always have to keep that in mind that you're working with people. It's about psychology, it's about analyzing the situation. Is that person working well or is that person not feeling well? And always keep improving. And with ecosystems as well, you can start a little bit, just like Excel sheets, and then improve. And at some point, it's gonna compound a lot, and you'll see yourself with CRMs or like systems that are of big companies. And that's how you're gonna grow in the beginning. Moving on to, okay, you found the right co-founder. Now, I'm excited, and again, I rush it. Trust is to be proven. It's not something that you just get like that. You only test your trust when you find issues and things go to deep muds. And within that, it's really crucial to not rush the first steps as well. Legal formalities, as terrible as they feel, no one, I think, likes doing legal formalities. Helps you a lot. Do a team charter. Discuss about what is the vision, where do you want to work on, what is the common goal that you're working on. Doing a couple of agreements. You don't have to really get a lawyer or something like that. If you're going a little bit big on the startup, you can work with Seed Legals. They have pretty easy templates for that. Talk about equity splits. And here, I'm not here going to tell you what is a good equity split to have. Everyone chooses it differently, and it's always right if everyone agrees on it. Talk about job positions. What are your responsibilities? Someone could be doing 10 times more than the other person. Someone could be working full-time and the other one is studying at university. It doesn't matter if they talked about it. if they agreed upon it. And you want to talk about it in the beginning, because in the beginning, everyone could leave, everyone has no pressure, everyone didn't invest anything. So there's no pressure of, okay, he's imposing me to do this, and I cannot leave because I put 10K with him. And now I'm bound to do this. And that feels really disrespectful. But also, a lot of founders talk about being scared of if they chose the wrong co-founder, they could just leave them. And I feel like this thing, we don't see it often, but you should really protect yourself and as a whole team. And we're talking here about vesting. Who here knows what is vesting? Okay, interesting. So this is going to be a great value for you guys. So vesting is a concept where when you start the company, you don't own directly the equity. So I start with you. What's your name? Isaac. I start with Isaac. We're both starting the company. 1 year after, we're still not growing a lot. He has 50%, I have 50%. He has 49, I have 51, doesn't matter. And he leaves. Okay? 2 years after, we are a billion-dollar company. And this Isaac, he left the company and took all of my equity doing nothing. So this is where vesting comes really in clutch. Vesting is basically putting an agreement and telling, hey, we're both going to get this equity. We're going to have nothing for the first year. After the first year, we're going to have maybe 10 or 20% of the total equity that we're going to get. And then every year, we're going to have this much. And it's not only by years, it's about also tasks and achievements. If I achieve this, if we reach this, you get this. If not, we don't get it. And the really important, please, everyone writes vesting, because this is something that you should have. And when we talk about a vesting schedule, investors, when they invest in when they put big money in a company, they want the founders to have vesting. It's not about you as a founder and your co-founder you put for him. Everyone needs to have a vesting schedule so that they know that these founders won't just like take big money and then do nothing about the company and then just like exit and keep getting revenue. It's not stocks. It's not like you're not investing in, you're not wishing to just like exit and leave everyone else do the job instead of you. So this simple phenomenon helps you as well understand that you can test more than what you are scared of. You're not really that committed with that person. If it doesn't work out, it's not gonna work out, it's fine. No one is just gonna people could, but this would help you to protect you from people who would think about just like using you and being imposters, basically. Being there, but not doing enough job or not putting the hours or the time or everything. And okay, before working on that, I want to ask someone on stage who has any idea. Anyone? Come here. What's your name?
Ezra.
Aswa?
Ezra.
Ezra, okay. Nice to meet you, Ezra. Do you have a business idea?
Yeah.
What is your business idea?
So it's a social tech enterprise to reduce income inequality, and it's basically uses AI to match people with investors, potential co-founders, and other opportunities around their area. And it also has like AI services like making your logo, and if you don't like your logo, you can connect with another graphic designer to like make edits. Okay. And yeah.
Okay, good enough. Let's say you're looking for a co-founder. What kind of co-founder are you looking for? Any skill you're looking for?
Somebody that's good with machine learning or software engineering.
Let's imagine, hypothetically, that I'm amazing at machine learning. I know nothing about it, but let's just imagine that. Then I'm going to put the cap. And I love your idea because there's a lot of market valuation. There's a lot of opportunity. We can get a lot of market share. And let's say I want to be a co-founder with you. And imagine me as perfect with every skill that you're looking for. Everything within the business, we are aligning completely. But one key thing, where do you see yourself in 10 years? In what city?
Maybe Dubai.
She sees herself in Dubai, okay. She sees herself in Dubai in 10 years. Imagine that in 10 years, I see myself in Tunisia where we speak Tunisian, not even Arabic. Or if I see myself in, or if I see myself in 10 years in Hong Kong, completely different places. This is not about business at all. This is just about our long-term vision. This is really about our long-term vision. So a lot of things that get ignored after, okay, we fix everything within the business. Think about your personal goals and where do you want to be. It's not only about what you would do, but the way that you would get there. Like, you may agree on the outcome, but not on the way that you would get there. And that's really crucial because after 10 years, she wants to maybe be in Dubai or like go to San Francisco, IPO, really stressful. Any tweet that you post, the company is going to go up and down. And no, I just want a business where I could work on it. I really want to fix that issue. I want to work on it every day. I don't need to make millions. So that issue won't be seen right now. But again, the deeper you go, the more investment you put, the more changes are going to be expensive in emotions, time, energy, and people are going to be pressured and not be able to make that decision easily. So try to figure out all of these things in the beginning. Thank you, Ezra. A big round of applause for her. If anyone wants a business with her, go talk to her. I'm not into that. I like London. So yeah, we had an advisor as part of our advisory board that works specifically with conflicts management within founders. And the one thing, so he goes into startups when there's big issues. And the one thing that he said happened the most within CoFounders is that they don't focus on the long-term vision again. We talked about it. It's where you want to go, how you want to reach it. It's not about just like where's your vision, where's your roadmap, or everything around that. How do you want to go from point A or point B? We talked earlier about values and about values and religion, for example. Let's say one person would like to grow by doing a lot of galas, and like in these galas, they bring a lot of champagne and stuff like that. And I'm, in my business, I'm Muslim, I don't drink alcohol, and I don't like my company to be spending money on that. So that small issue, that small misalignment on the values that we talked about in the beginning, that people do not see a lot, would cause an issue down the way. He would just be thinking, why do you not want us to make money and grow? Why do you not want us, for example, another issue is, let's call it for Muslims, for example, taking debt with interest rates is not allowed. So we would be lacking money. I would tell him, no, we don't get a loan. But we're gonna die. We're gonna die. And that misalignment could cause a lot of grief and issues, and people won't understand it at that point. And why is your opinion more important than him at that time? It's mostly about aligning on the visions on the beginning. And here, before we move on the next slides, focus how to go from point A to point B, not just where you want to go at the end. Defining clear roles. We talked about it earlier. It doesn't matter what are the roles. It doesn't matter if someone has 3 more years at university and you're working full time on it. If you agree that that's a split, that you're going to be focusing on developing the app and you can get a job at Google or anywhere right now and get $200,000 a year in San Francisco, and you're going to spend your time working here for no pay and spending money while I'm just a business person, if you agree on that in the beginning, that would work fine. Then focus on equity if you want to IPO or exit or not. And we talked about the issues. Before moving on too deep, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, just before you move on, could you very quickly talk about experiences you've probably had where potential founders were too concerned about alignment? Because I think it's completely impossible that you always completely match with the same person, so you've got to tolerate a tiny bit of difference. What about when people are too worried about that difference and you should just accept that?
Exactly. It's not It's not about being completely. It's not about being born from the same mother and having the same values exactly. It's about knowing the boundaries of everyone. I think we're gonna say it in here. Discuss a little bit about your non-negotiables. What are the things that you could not go with? What are the things that you would not do at all? talk about everyone's non-negotiables so that down the road you discuss it, you wrote it, you have it clear. It's not a bias, it's not a, no one would, it minimizes people getting offended because you already talked about it. You're not here looking for perfection. You're gonna move a bit. You're gonna find something well for you, something not well for the other person. So it's about saying what are your non-negotiables. Here how the way things work. Here's how my values here are really important for me. For example, for the values part, you can just say in one sentence, yeah, I'm really into religion, I'm Muslim, I'm this, I'm that. Or I really like this style and I don't want that in the future. And then down the road, you'll explain more because that encompasses more stuff. Did I reply to your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And then, before moving on to these issues as well, we have to decide from the beginning, how are we gonna fix problems? How are we gonna be making decisions? Because if you're 3 people, you could say, okay, we'll do voting. But if you're 2, voting doesn't work. One person is gonna be more important than the other one, unless if you didn't talk about it. So then at that time, you can decide how the decisions are going to be made. Is it a hierarchy? I'm not a native English speaker. Hierarchy company? Or is it a flat structure where everyone does the decisions the same way? So is it the CEO that's going to do that or anyone else? So just like decide the way that you're going to fix disagreements once they happen. And this point is probably really important because if you read it simply like that, 80% of people are going to mess it up. You have to read this small part here. You have to learn a lot about yourself and check your compatibility. So when you're doing all of these things, we talked about the dates, right? We talked about, in the beginning, everyone is molding, everyone is aligning with other people, everyone is perfect, and there's no issues. But the thing within that is that within teams, there's personalities that are stronger than the others. There's personalities that are really extroverted and personalities that are really introverted. And it's basically a spectrum of personalities. So you want to be able to do personality tests, writing the vision, seeing all of these non-negotiables, talking about them. You want to be doing them with your founders yet. But I highly advise that you work on these by yourself, like you work both of the founders, or like if you're 3 or any number of founders, you work on them on your side, you write long stuff, you prepare everything within that, and then you go share what you're working on. Share, this is what I wrote, read what I did, I'm gonna present it right now. Because what that does is that it's going to limit and minimize being an indirect people pleaser. It's easy for me and you right now for you to tell me right now easily, yeah, I'll forget about my dream in Dubai, or it's fine. But then at that point, and then you don't even tell it. I'm telling you, yeah, I want to work on this. This is my objective. This is my vision. And you'll be like, okay, that sounds good. But I want to know what is, without biases, your personal visions. Do we actually align, or are you just trying to please me and want to start a business and is really excited about the potential income and the potential revenues from it and the potential valuation and status and everything around that? So really important to these things on your side, both, or like 3 or whatever, and then sharing them together. We talked about the non-negotiables, the values, religious practices. And now we go into the section where it's highly variable between person and person. And I'm not here being able to tell you who is the right person for you, and who is the best way of working, but you have to be able to analyze deeply these things as well. Talking about personality types and working style, some people love the Elon Musk style. You have 3 divorces, you live in the manufacturer, you make billions and you live in the manufacturer. You're working only with the company, you're really harsh, really high motivational, manly type of work. And some others like more bigger work-life balance, more something that is completely different. And there's nothing wrong with both. There's nothing wrong with both, as long as you align on it and that's your vision and you want to work on that. So focus on doing all the personality tests, quizzes, and all of that. There's tons of them. I could share with you a little bit later some of these. But focus on the work style with the person, learning about personality types. And within choosing your co-founder as well, the ideal is that we find someone that doesn't only complete us, but that we learn from. They say it, you want to find someone that is better than you. You want to learn from someone. If you're working on a tech business, for example, you're building an app or anything, you don't want generally to find two business people. You don't want to find two people that do exactly the same thing because it's easy, they're aligned, they're almost the same person, they mold, they have the same values, they have the same experiences, too extroverted. You want someone that helps you within another sector and that helps you grow. And within, specifically, for example, we're just taking this example of tech companies. You want to be able, in the beginning we talked about investors invest in teams and invest in the opportunity and potential that team by itself is going to grow to profits and to a certain threshold without need of external services. Not only funding, service. So you don't want to be paying someone to do your ads in your marketing or to be paying a company to build your app or your platform. You want to be able to do that by yourself. That's what defines, that's why you're better. That's why you're getting high valuations. Because you by yourself as a team is the foundation of that startup and you can launch it by yourself. And now, talking about where, if I was dishonest, I would just say go to OnlyFounders, the first thing that you do. But that's probably the last thing that you'll do. The first thing is to focus mostly, usually again here, within friends and your personal network. Because you already have a rough idea about the values, about the person, but a little bit about their experiences. Maybe you're a little bit from the same social class or like type or culture where you studied at the same place or know a little bit about the person. You can easily do these hats faster. You can ask your friends or your family about that person. Second, you can go to, and within the second, you should do the same with your person. We talked about putting them through tests. You can go to hackathons, pitch competitions, go to programs like Antler. Antler is a really great accelerator, incubator program where they put a bunch of founders that don't have ideas yet and don't have co-founders, and they put them for 10 to 12 weeks, if I'm right. And they just start startups together and connect together. And we also talked about testing your co-founder. It's better from the beginning when you say this is the right person and put them through stuff that would put them through mods and difficulties to get them to do pitch competitions together, learn the pitch together, going to hackathons, incubators, accelerators before doing anything else so that you test them better. And the third layer would be anything online. We can talk about LinkedIn, really general. You can learn from the person, from what they're posting. Personal branding helps a lot. OnlyFounders app or like YC Matchmaking, they have the same thing where they connect co-founders. But the third layer has to undergo all the other filtering and layers of connecting with the right person, real, one-to-one, online meetings, calls, and everything within that. You cannot just like find on the app, because most probably on the apps you'll find more people that are really excited and want to start yesterday, not tomorrow. So you have to go through the whole process. And the issue is that we have a tendency of wanting to rush that thing, and we talked about it in the beginning. And on the other hand, I think Peter here could talk a lot about this, the importance of personal branding. If you did start the business and you don't have a right co-founder or want to add some people on, I feel like doing personal branding, talking about your idea, posting it online on LinkedIn is a really powerful tool. These are two examples of one time I posted the LinkedIn job application, and these are the answers that I get. And I posted the LinkedIn post about I'm looking for some people to help me in a specific area. And I got more than 20 of these messages, long paragraphs, really in depth about passionate people who want to join the vision. And within that, I'm going to leave you with one thought. Why not joining an already established startup instead of building your own and finding co-founders? Because if you remember, the one thing that you focus on in this presentation is that you're going to have a hat of looking for red flags and seeing if the person is passionate enough, is motivated enough, wants to work enough on this project? Do they have this dream, or are they people pleasers and they're just joining my dream because they want financial revenues or like status of working on a startup? So, and most people are looking for co-founders instead of looking to join a team. So it's way easier to find potential high quality co-founders, like technical people or really great personalities, really experienced people, if you join their team instead of recruiting them. Because their job would be to see if you're passionate enough or not. But if they already started something, if they already have this idea of starting something, you know that that's their vision, and you just have to ask yourself, is this really my vision, or do I just want to have in my CV 2X co-founder or whatever, or IPO or something like that? So you know that they're excited about that. You can clearly map out all of their thoughts and what they came to as a solution and see if that aligns with you or not. You already know that they're motivated about that, and you undergo way less steps. So if you're already starting and don't have yet a co-founder and don't have yet an idea, think about potentially joining a team. At OnlyFounders, we have more than 1,000 people on their waitlist, and around 70% of people want to find co-founders in their existing idea. So you have way more options and a pool to choose from when you just join someone. And without further ado, I hope we didn't go over time. Thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, let me know.